call the testing. Because now you have to go back to the thing, the particular goal you had, or something far more significant, and try it out and see whether your understanding allows you an avenue to go through and it no longer blocks you. That's testing. That's determining the truth of these dialogues and these ways of exploring. See, it's not, this is theoretical, it's all good, very important, but then to find yourself then when you're now willing to go to the thing that you've avoided or haven't been able to achieve, set up the situation where it's most ideally, know all of this is going on, know that you've talked about this, you've understood it to a certain level, now you put yourself into it, and now you can watch what state of mind comes up. It may come up, but you know what? You may be able to go right through it and continue your work. Then all it is a thought, a couple of thoughts, the remnants of a past state of mind.
Or better yet, you remember there's something you used to do, but now you don't, and you don't remember that, and suddenly you discover that, oh yes.
That's what I used to do.
That's what I remember doing.
That's very good. That's right. Then the memory isn't even there. It's an old one. It's an old act.
Yeah. Well, we can drain out the anger. We can have the memory without it making us angry.
That's right. Yeah. And that's the testing. See, that's what's most important is the testing. To go back and test it again. What does this do? This allows a new kind of understanding to emerge. And that's what we call the logos. Real understanding, real reason. And it's a very significant thing. It's the logos. Now, logos is connected with inner dialogues or daydreams and dreams in the same way, in exactly the same way. Let us try one, all right? We can use this, notice, we can use the same diagrams. A daydream has a beginning. Remember, we want to know when it occurs, what state of mind the person was in that allowed that. You then want to write it down. You want to write it down in detail. You want the whole story. You want to let it run itself out. And you put it aside. And you wait for the occasion again to come up. And you do it again. And you suddenly discover that there are only a finite number of daydreams you have. And the drama tends to be repeated again and again and again. And it deals with some conflict. And what you're going to do then is to pick out in the daydream where the conflict is most visible, or the success, either one, both will take both. And what you're going to do is just talk about having experienced that state of mind in your past. That's all you're going to do. You're going to link it. It's a linking process. So, let's try it. Now let's get one, all right? Wouldn't it be interesting at this point if you had kept records before 1972 of your daydreams?
Yeah.
In detail. Right? And then to see why after 1972 they've changed. They have to change. They have to change. The degree to which they change is the degree to which one has dropped those images, because every daydream has in it a mask. An image of oneself. That image of the self is a reflection of the pathologos. And that's why they are so important to study. So therefore, if you can spot that moment in the daydream that was most intense, you identify the kind of state of mind you're in the daydream, state of mind you're in the daydream, what we're going to call the mask. You ask, what has linked What can I link that with in my past? Right? Yesterday, last week, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, wherever you want to go. So therefore you want to get then recollections of that state of mind, recollections of that state of mind. The recollections are themselves going to be stories, events that happened to you, things that you heard, saw, were told, and you treat them exactly like the pathologos. Same thing.
I had a dream, I don't remember exactly when it was, but sometime previous to this. I was 72, probably in the 60s. It was in the 60s, and I had a dream, and I took this dream to a lady that was an authority on dreams. And she said, my dream was predicting my future enlightenment. So it was interesting.
Good girl. Yeah, talented woman. Yeah, I like to hear.
Casey,
Yeah, I'd like to hear stories of that. Is she still around?
I don't know. She wrote a book about dreams.
Oh, okay.
But I don't remember if I have the book around. But she was a student of Edgar Casey.
Is she a Jungian or with Edward Casey? Is that?
Well, she was much into Edgar Casey. I don't know.
Yeah, Edgar Casey. Yeah.
She might have, they're compatible in many ways.
Yeah. Okay.
But she was basically dealing on the Edgar Casey guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Sir.
It sounds like the dream was contradicting the daydream.
That's right. Dreams contradict the daydreams.
I'm still not clear on that. Could you give an example?
Sure. Of the dream and the daydream?
Yeah. When I think of daydreams, to me that's like fantasy,
Yes.
enjoyable
Yes.
fantasy. That
Yes.
like an example, that I won the lotto. Okay. Now, what kind of dream would I have that would contradict that, and so what?
Daydream, you won the lotto. Okay. In the daydream, were there certain consequences of that then?
Well, I've never,
In the daydream.
Just tossing that out.
Oh, well, you see, two things. All right. To have that daydream.
Everyone has that, actually, I think.
Well, that's why a lot of people play the lotto.
Yeah.
But not everybody does.
Yeah, true. But see, what does that mean the person is now willing to do? What are those things? How will they then appear with those things?
Well,
And why can't they do them right now?
Yes, that's where it's going to
Why do they have to wait for
go.
the lotto?
Yeah.
well, the joke is, I remember being told a person saying that they always pray to God that they can win the lotto. And they never win the lotto, and then someone asks, have you purchased a lotto ticket ever? And the person says, no, you don't.
Yes, you can get, you see, if someone really had the daydream of the lotto, then they would likely think of themselves in a certain way, doing a certain number of things. The money, they think, will allow them to do the certain things. They think that, however, that will allow them to appear in this way. And since it's a state of mind, why can't they appear that way without the lotto? See, that's why theoretical, pardon me? No, see, in this game you can do so much, but it has to be from particular experience, you see. So to make up the hypothetical case, you'd get a hypothetical answer and it wouldn't be very insightful. But